Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing? So I'm gonna go straight into this devotional um, that I read today. So I was in the book of First Corinthians, chapter 3, verses 1 through 4, and it goes, dear brothers and sisters, when I was with you, I couldn't talk to you as I would to spiritual people. I had to talk to you as though you belong to this world, or as though you were infants in Christ. I had to feed you with milk, not with solid food, because you weren't ready for anything stronger. You you still aren't ready, for you are still controlled by the sinful natures. You are jealous of one another and you quarrel with each other. Doesn't that prove you are controlled by your sinful nature? Aren't you living like people of the world? When one of you says, I'm a follower of Paul, and another says, I'm a follower of Apollos, aren't you acting like people of this world? So I really was it really like evaluating just the way he was speaking. Paul was speaking to the Corinth church, and how he was saying, I was in verse 1, he was saying, I had to talk to you as though you belong to the world, or that you were infants. So he's talking about to the world and as infants. So some of them were struggling with that area. So it just shows to me, like, and I just take a lot away from it, because he actually, like, went down to their level and spoke to people where they were at. And it just teaches me a lot in, like, when we go and we're discipling people, and we're reaching out to people when they're first receiving salvation. And as you're discipling them, you're meeting them where they're at. And for me, it just brings a part where, like, I got to talk to these people a certain way. But if I'm discipling somebody and they're not getting nowhere, then I'm gonna keep having to talk to them that way. And as when basically when I was going through a lot of these things, it just makes me recollect, or just think about, like, where I came from, and how, like, in areas when I was growing, I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out, backsliding. And he's talking to this church, and like, I'll just to tie it into something that I just we've been talking about this week, right, or these last few weeks with Pastor Marco, and just the studies that we've been going through with love. He's meeting them not only where they're at with love, but also these people are, like, jealous. These people are, like, crawling amongst each other, and they're not they don't know love yet, because if they knew it, then they wouldn't be jealous of one another. They wouldn't fight with one another and be looking at, like, oh yeah, like, involving themselves with division and being like, I'll follow Paul or I'll follow Apollos, and like, that's division. And then, like, I'm seeing all these things, and they're just there's a lack of, like, knowing that look, they are brothers and sisters, and they're gonna bring stuff to the table, and we're supposed to be love people and love them through it. And Paul's just telling them the truth in love, and then just meeting them exactly where they're at, loving them through it, telling them, like, you guys aren't ready. You guys need to get ready. You guys need to see these things that are happening in your church and get right. So with all that being said, like, I just think about, like, where how important it is to just not only love, but to make sure that we're trying to step